And then I walk into this session with my friend Lisa, Wednesday of that week.
So now we're on the 25th.
Now we're on the 25th. And she goes to me, what are you working on? You're working on something. I go, no, that's why I'm here. Like, I need help. I don't know. Like, I feel like my soul is dying and I need some guidance. Like, I just don't know what to do. So that we have this whole session and she keeps asking me what I'm working on. And she gives me a bunch of other information. She's going to my sister for stuff, comes back to me and she goes, you're doing something. I go, well, I just decided I'm writing an article about the night a medium changed my life. And so I said, literally this week, I just decided like, I'm going to write about that first interaction with Rebecca Rosen and where that went and whatever. And she goes, that's it. She's like, that article is going to lead to all this other stuff. She's like, I don't know. You're going to have like books or a TV show or something. She's like, and you're a medium. She's like, by the way, you're a medium. And I was like, what? She goes, I'm serious. Like, if you're going to write about this, at least take some classes on intuition and mediumship and see what happens. So that all started on April 25th last year.
Okay, I have 1,000 million things to say. Number one, when I saw you, when I clicked onto the camera, that first instant, I had a very, very remarkable experience. I wouldn't know how to language it until I have the data. Like, I'm just not that clairvoyant, right? So I saw you, and I guess the language would be like instant recognition. I feel like I'm speaking with somebody that I already know. But when I hear this story and I go back to that sensation that I had, I have to speak into it. It was a big sensation. Yeah. And so therefore it can't just be personal. It was too big for it to be just personal. So I want to start with that. Number two, way before you mentioned anything about anything that you were looking to do, I got that it's a platform.
You did.
Oh, clear as a fucking bell. And I just made note of it to say, well, when am I going to say this? It's a teaching platform or a community platform or something. It's platform. Now, that does not mean it cannot be television as well or as part of it. And you, coming from that world, in some ways, it ought to be. But the consciousness of it feels like platformy consciousness. So if nothing else, maybe we're talking about it must include something that can touch people outside of a commitment to check in for a half hour or an hour experience. Like, that's a thing. It's a great thing.
Right.
What you can offer can be wildly effective and touching lots and lots of people through platform consciousness.
Yes.
But you are a television gal, so they're not distinct.
Right.
But what came to me in my clairaudience was platform. Okay, so that's number two. Okay, number three. Let's look at April 25th of last year, honey, because it was fucking off the chart. If you're trying to make something up for like a television show, this would be too much. So let's show it to you just because it's fun.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to take out the annotations and so I can re-annotate. There's a saying in astrology says the slowest planet wins. So that's how I'm going to start interpreting one fucking day, honey. April 25th, 2018.
Yeah.
First of all, you had 1, 2, 3, 4 conjunctions at the same time. That means that there were 4 planets in the ethos that were in exact places that planets were at when you were born. 4.
Wow.
The first one was Uranus at your bottom. Remember how I said the top of the chart was the second most important angle?
Yes.
The third most important is the bottom of the chart because this is home, hearth, security, root chakra, what's important to me at a private foundational level.
Wow.
And on April 25th, Uranus was at 28 degrees, 54 minutes of Aries. You got that? It's just numbers, right?
Yep.
What are those numbers?
Oh my God, 28 and 54. Oh my God. Holy shit.
A planet that takes 84 years to move around touched a point that spins so fast that 4 minutes later or 4 minutes earlier on that day of your birth, it would have been a different degree. So April 25th would still have been significant because Uranus was down there, but it's an anomaly that it was so exact that it was exact. And so this is the planet that wakes you up, that transforms you in an instant, hitting the one point in a chart that can make people stay stuck.
Wow.
Think about it. The grounded, see, what makes me secure?
Yeah.
I ain't moving nothing that makes me secure. But Uranus comes along and says, yeah, let go of that. Dump anything about, oh, I have to be solid and secure. I'm going to create something new.
Oh my God.
Beautiful. So the second slow planet here was Saturn. So Saturn's movement tells us what the responsibility is. What's the karmic contract responsibility? Saturn, when he moved into Capricorn last year, moved into your first house, the house of self. So Saturn has been in that house for about a year. He'll be there for another year and a half, saying, all right, Robyn, you know who you are. Now you got to start being that, right? And at 9 degrees, look at this over here. This is your Venus. That's a direct contact on that day between Saturn in your first house, who's saying, Robyn, are you being true to who you are? Your Venus is how you feel about your life, right? The angle that they made, the inconjunct, is called the Great Eliminator.
Are you serious?
So Saturn is saying to you on the 25th, you know, bitch, you got to let something go.
Yes.
You got to let something go that might even have been heartfelt for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not done. The sun was exactly at 5 degrees of Taurus. Where was Mercury when you were born? 5 degrees of Taurus. That means the light of consciousness on that day was shining on your communication experience. The message would be like, if you were asking me to predict this day in advance, one thing I would say for sure is it's a conversation. It changes everything about what you're secure. It starts a new path, or you leave something behind, but it is a conversation that does it. Now, this is what's killing me.
What? There's more?
Oh, honey, we're not done, and we're still on April 25th, 2018. And you know what? The reason I'm spending so much time on this is because where you're at now and where you go next, it's irrelevant, honey.
Oh my God.
You're already doing it. It already exists. And one of the ways we know that is that the moment you got it, the universe was just assaulting you.
Yeah, I mean,
with consciousness. So this one here is this little orange thing. That's Venus.
okay.
Here, let's get rid of these other marks so that it's a little clearer to see. This little horseshoe thing, that's your south node, which is the karmic point, which is key to any medium experience, because it's the south node that we connect to past lives, ancestry, how we came in. No, honey, I'm telling you, this is the craziest.
I mean, that's
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That is really.
Mercury himself, it wasn't quite exact because it was more exact on the 24th than the 25th, but Mercury was on your Jupiter, which means that any conversation you were having that week was, and you said there was an event or a conversation with a psychic a day or two before.
It was the 22nd, yeah.
Okay, so Mercury was passing over your Jupiter that whole week. So that meant there was words, communication, and ideas floating around out there that were all designed to tell you how big and bountiful and abundant life can get.
Wow.
That's what Jupiter invented, was life is enormous. And so Mercury's coming by there saying, yes, 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 yes. It's enormous, and it can get even more enormous as you step more and more powerfully into who you are. And we're not done. It was a lunar return. The moon was in Virgo. The moon was in Virgo when you were born.
Oh my God.
That morning, the moon was exactly where you were born, probably around noonish in Chicago.
Crazy.
Now, I want to tell you something in terms of I'm very dramatic, obviously, and very hyperbolic. It's one of my favorite things about me. But I want to say that if I were to number, from 1 to 10, how rare, crazy this is, 8 to 9.
Oh my God. And the thing about astrology, which you're showing me, is, you can't make this up. This is written.
You can't make this You
Like,
can't.